Okay, my beautiful friends, we made it. You and me, we made it through the week. Just lovely. Okay, we have a lot of stuff to talk about, so just get comfortable, relax, and let's put this together. Let's put this whole thing together and try to make some sense of it, because that's really what this is all about. So yeah, it's Friday, October 16, 2020. The stock market was all over the place today, especially towards the end of the day. We had portfolio rebalancing going on today. So the gyrations towards the end of the day, all right, whatever. It doesn't mean anything. In my view, and I'm going to say this right off the bat, right here and right now, next week could prove to be very interesting for the stock market. It's a big earnings week. I will talk more about this on Sunday when I do my markets a look ahead segment. But if I just had to throw it out here right now, just gauging on what's happening, I would imagine that the chances of this stock market rising next week are higher than the chances of the market dropping next week. And we'll talk about that as we kind of go through some more data with this video blog and headline news and all the other nonsense that happened today. So what happened, interestingly enough, we had a stock market that was higher most of the day, nicely higher. Towards the end of the day, like I said, because of portfolio rebalancing, you got some gyrations in the market. The Dow finished positive, the S&P 500 flat, NASDAQ negative. Cryptocurrencies got hit today. Gold and silver about flat today. Crude oil didn't do too much. 10-year yield stable here, people. 0.74 in the dollar. No knee jerk into the dollar today. So again, you can kind of see the setup already. If they can prop up crude oil moving into next week, if the 10-year yield stays where it is, or in this range, the dollar stays weak, and they prop up crude with earnings coming in, because again, this is a big week for earnings. And look, what are they going to do? They're going to tell us how surprised they are that earnings are coming in better than they thought. It doesn't matter anyway. Even if earnings come in bad, what do you believe is going to happen? Well, we heard from Fed President Bullard today, and he said, oh yeah, the Fed's debt purchases are appropriate right now. What's the translation? You ain't seen nothing yet, people. You ain't seen nothing yet. We'll cover that in a little bit too. So that's how this market ended up. Kind of mixed, higher for the Dow, whatever. I don't really pay too much attention to the Dow Jones Industrial Average. It's 30 companies, people. You got to look at the broader index, the S&P 500. There's no doubt about it. And of course, pay attention to the bond market. Look at what the dollar's doing. What is crude doing? What are the headlines? What's the nonsense? What's the garbage? What's the propaganda? What are they trying to fist feed you? And then you can come up with the right solution to the problem. I put out a private message earlier in my newsletter. There is a link in the description of this video. If you want to get in on Greg's private messages, it's free. Sign up for my newsletter. I explained to you, what are we doing? What are we as traders, investors, people going through life? What are we actually doing? We're in a game here of incomplete information. It's never going to be complete, okay? You don't know if you're going to walk outside your door and get hit by a car. It's just, we just don't know. What we are doing here is trying to assimilate a lot of data and come up with the most likely solution. If we get it right most of the time, we're going to do well. Anyway, look, so what I would like to do here and now is cover what happened today. Do a little blow by blow. I'm kind of like doing this lately. I think you all know that. All right. So let's start off with this. So you know what? Let me open this up. I want to actually read something to you here. You're gonna love this. This computer's so damn slow. Here we go. So this is Bank of America here. Bank of America is saying investors are throwing money at everything and dumping cash. I want you to think about that. I want you to think about that, really. So we found out this today as well. Retail sales better than expected. What's going on here? Let me give you a clue. The rich are buying big ticket items, no doubt about it. With regard to the middle class, they continue to do what they do best, borrow and borrow some more and bury themselves in debt. This whole scamdemic has caused a lot of people to suffer from depression. And when people do that, they make stupid choices like burying themselves in more debt, buying things just to try to satisfy some kind of a need. So yeah, this did pick up retail sales here. We're in an economic meltdown. And it's going to end badly. It's already ending horribly for America, for the middle class. And this is the opening salvos, people. Let me explain this to you as clearly as I can. The 2008 meltdown never ended. It never ended. What Obama did was fluff up the market on the back of exploding debt, giving the illusion of some type of a recovery here. You know, it's like borrowing from your credit card like American citizens are doing here and thinking they're rich by burying themselves in more debt. And that's exactly what has happened under President Trump. You know, speaking of that, I posted something earlier today. I asked people to do a couple of things. Name your top 2 accomplishments that the president has done. A lot of people came up with 1. Some people came up with 2. Not too many people were able to come up with even 2 real accomplishments that the president has pulled off here. The number 1 was, well, he kept us out of a war, which is completely false. We are in a Cold War right now with China, the second largest economy in the world, and it's costing America dearly at this present time. We were promised a deal. We never got a deal. We got exploding debts and deficits like we've never seen before. Our budget deficit just hit an all-time record high. $3.1 trillion. That's the number that they're letting us see. I want you to think about that. So let's, what I would like to hear from you, give me 2 accomplishments. How about just 1 other than the president has not brought us to an armed conflict? Okay, congratulations on that one. Other than that, he hasn't brought us to another armed conflict. Name 1 other accomplishment of the president, but don't just answer the question, half-ass here. What has he done for the middle class? Okay, and why are you voting for the president? Try to convince me, Greg, you should vote for President Trump because he's done this accomplishment, name 2 if you want to, and because he's done this for the middle class. You understand? I think most of you realize I will not be voting for President Trump. He's not earned my vote. Been a major disappointment with the Federal Reserve and everything else. He's sold out our country to the Federal Reserve, which in some ways makes him a traitor. All right, let's move forward here. Now, how about this one? This is an article here from timesfreedompress.com. Let me read this to you. Debt is the new slavery. Meanwhile, neither candidate has been asked a question about it, nor have they even addressed the issue. I think we understand why. Okay, how about this one? 8 million prior members of the middle class have now slipped into poverty. This is the number they're telling us that we can prove. 8 million previous members of the middle class have now slipped into poverty over the last year. Okay, a lot of this had to do with the scamdemic, but we're being told we're in a V-shaped recovery. It's tremendous. We're adding jobs. The middle class is rich. Larry Kudlow. You can't make this stuff up. It's unbelievable. But that's where we are. So again, keep in mind, what has President Trump done for the middle class? U.S. industrial production cratered, falling 0.6% in September, with its weakest showing since last spring. Okay? Looking good, huh? Now, I already spoke about consumer spending, what's going on here. Let's move forward here. I already spoke about industrial production. Unexpectedly tumbled. Why is it unexpected? Who would have expected that we're making things and we're exporting them? Are you kidding me? This is not happening. America is dying. Unbelievable. Now, how about this one? This should piss you off. This really should piss you off. The Trump administration privately warned wealthy donors while publicly downplaying the coronavirus and helping elite traders gain a financial edge. Imagine how shocked I am. Imagine how shocked I am. Are you shocked? Corruption. That's what this is. Corruption to this highest order. You can't make this stuff up. It's impossible to do. Oh, by the way, I am very excited about this because a lot of you have written to me about this. I am going to be interviewed by George Gammon. I know a lot of you like this guy's work. I think he's great. Him and his board writing stuff down. He's a really smart guy. I'm looking very forward to this. So this coming week, I will be interviewed by George. George, looking very forward to this. I think we are going to kill it. I think people are going to love it. Because, you're another guy who I feel like we were separated at birth. I listen to the stuff that you put out and I go, that's good. Anyway, let's move on here. So here we go. Goldman Sachs. You know what Goldman Sachs is doing. Let me just reseat myself. Goldman Sachs is explaining to people they should be dumping dollars. But better than that, Goldman Sachs is advising people to buy silver. Whoa. I know some of you Goldman Sachs boys. You know who you are. So, give credit where credit's due. I know you didn't and you won't, but anyway. Lions, look, let me put this together for you real quick. I got your back. I don't want to read this to you. Whoever wins this election, believe me, I already have a strategy for it. If Biden wins, I got your back. If Trump wins, I got your back. I don't care who wins. I'm voting for Biden. You know that. But I really don't care who wins. Doesn't matter to me. I will make money if the market goes up. I will make money if the market goes down. And I will make money if the market goes sideways. And I will willingly share all my work with all of you who subscribe to my free newsletter. There is a link in the description of the video. What I'm buying. What I'm doing with it. Another reason for you to subscribe to my newsletter. Look, I go on to say, people, always prepare for the unexpected. All right. I know a lot of you believe Trump is going to win by a landslide. Okay. If you're a trader or an investor, you should be positioning yourself for that. But you should consider maybe you could be wrong. So be ready if something else happens. You always have to have the high ground. All battles are won before they're ever fought. Okay. Just remember that. Let's go forward here. This is some lovely stuff. With regard to President Trump, if he wants to do better, he should shut the mouth of Larry Kudlow. Every time Larry Kudlow opens his pie hole and spews out lies and diarrhea, President Trump's poll numbers drop. Every time. It's a phenomenon. I would imagine that the president is paying attention to this. So, Mr. President, how about you gag Larry Kudlow? Tell him to be quiet, because he again spoke today, and we'll talk about that in a moment. But I want you to pay attention to this real quick. If indeed there is a contested election here, you can expect this stock market to dive. Okay, but that will present opportunity for me. And you, if you're a trader, I will be in here buying hardcore. That's the truth. And I will keep all of you on top of it. There's no doubt about it. All right, here we go. So we heard from Fed President Bullard today, who said current level of debt purchases is appropriate. So the translation is very simple. You haven't seen anything yet, people. You haven't. You haven't seen anything yet. Believe me on this one. It's only going to get monumentally worse. Now, this is what really made me laugh today. Our lovely friend, Steve Liesman, I think it's spelled L-I-E-S, man. Steve Liesman, he was surprised about the alarming rise in new unemployment claims yesterday. He was shocked about this. Only the brain dead really would be surprised about this. Okay, or those that are dumb enough to buy the recovery, the V-shaped recovery. We're adding jobs. It's tremendous. It's fantastic. I mean, who's buying the lies here? I guess Steve Leisman. No one should be surprised. You think this, we haven't seen anything yet with regard to that. We're in a depression. And that this depression has nowhere to go but get much worse. Now, here's Larry Kudlow today. Kudlow says it's almost impossible to execute a coronavirus relief deal before the election. You mean another failed deal like China? I thought deals were easy to make. You know, the art of the steal. Unbelievable. You can't. Now, look, the federal budget deficit has now soared to a record $3.1 trillion. Nobody that follows this blog is surprised. I've explained to you, and I'm going to tell you right now, this is going to get much worse. As a matter of fact, here we go. So U.S. federal budget deficit soars to a record $3.1 trillion in 2020. No one who follows my blog should be in the least surprised about this. You want to know another secret? This is going to balloon from here. Just like the trade deficit that was supposed to shrink because we were charging tariffs on China. Duh! And President Trump said that was going to shrink. Like maybe it would need some Viagra. You can't make this stuff up because I explained to you at the time President Trump would be wrong. But I was wrong according to a lot of you. Duh. No, Greg, you're going to be wrong. President's smarter than you. Duh. Doesn't seem so, does it? President is no smarter than me or you. Okay, that's the truth. Forget about it. It's unbelievable. So here we go. So President Trump said again, I am ready to sign a big, beautiful stimulus. So let me ask you, is this proof of, number one, a Super V recovery? Number two, we're all rich. Number three, we're adding jobs. Or number four, strongest recovery in history. Which one? So we're getting president wants to sign a big, beautiful, his words, it's freaking big and it's freaking beautiful stimulus. Oh, that must be because we're in a Super V recovery, or we're all rich, or we're adding jobs, or this is the strongest recovery ever. I mean, I'm going to give you four duh. You ready? Let's do them together. Duh, and duh. I mean, you can't make this stuff up. It's impossible to do. Brain dead. It's just sick. Unfreaking believable. All right, now I want you to pay attention to this one because this should also make you sick. The Treasury Department privately encouraged the banks to prioritize existing clients when implementing the federal government's Paycheck Protection Program, which benefited medium and large-sized businesses but caused harm to small, underfunded U.S. businesses. Can I see your shocked face? This is pathetic. Okay? But that's just, I guess, the new American way here. This really, and how about this one? Oh, top EU regulator is satisfied. Oh, I'm so satisfied. He's satisfied with the 737 MAX jet changes. Guess what, people? I will not be flying in a 737 MAX death jet. Regardless of what this top EU regulator is satisfied with. Oh, I don't think you are either. It's too much. Going back to this real quick, the U.S. budget deficit triples to $3.1 trillion as the United States spends 90% more than it collects. Is this making America great again? Is this why you want to vote for President Trump? Yeah, I'm beating the living hell out of the guy today. And you know what? He deserves it all. He deserves it all and more because, he promised to make America great again. I voted for the man last time, okay? And he let me down hardcore. He is not the guy who campaigned. This man has sold America out to the Federal Reserve. And again, like I said earlier, this makes him a traitor. You understand? I hope you do. With that said, people, long video. If you got through it, I think you have come away with maybe a new understanding of a lot of stuff that's going on here. Anyway, look, I don't give a damn. Let me put that into perspective while I let you off. I don't give a damn. My job here is to stay ahead of this market. My job here is to keep you ahead of this market here. If Biden wins, fantastic. If Trump wins, fan-freaking-tastic. You think it's going to make any difference for the rich? You think it's going to make any difference for people like me that knew how to take advantage of everything here? Absolutely not. What will happen is the middle class will continue to evaporate no matter what happens. I want you to understand that. But again, the philosophy is very simple. We have watched the rich, corporate America, really do well here under President Trump. And under Biden, they're still going to do well, but maybe we'll get a little more handouts for the middle class. Anyway, look, either way, America is in free fall. And without really a hero sitting up there explaining the real situation, telling people what's really going on, and ending the Federal Reserve once and for all, nothing's going to change. Nothing will change. And I guarantee you, just like I've been saying for the past 4 years, President Trump will not end the Fed. He has no interest in it. All he's done is sell America out to the Federal Reserve. If you can't see that, if you're that blind, well, I guess I don't know what to tell you. Prove me wrong. All right, look, people getting a little wild over here, but I'm going to leave you off with my favorite 3 things. Are you ready? Love each other, care about each other, be charitable. I will see all of you on Sunday. I'm looking forward to reading the comments. I can only imagine what they're going to be like. I'm going to trigger a lot of people. That's what I want to do. I want people to start to think. I want them to get triggered, angry, pissed off. That's the only way to get brain dead people to think. All right, I'm out of here. See you later.